All right.
What up, y'all? Happy Monday, everybody. What's up? What's up, Pete? What's up, Armand? Debbie? Cutting it close. Yeah, we are a few minutes late today. All good. What's up, Lewis? Rick? Awesome. If this is anybody's first time you're watching the replay, we're live every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern, give or take some change today. Pop in, ask your questions, all that kind of stuff. Always good to see you guys. And yeah, we got some fun weeks ahead. There's a bunch of it's Veterans Day tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I was doing some sourcing today. There's a ton of sales for it already, so it's like a little mini pre-Black Friday. You guys can go crazy.
Going to continue all the way through Black Friday.
Yep. Yeah, a bunch of early Black Friday too. There was some dude on the coaching call the past hour. We literally completely new niche. We're demolishing the pet supplies niche actually as well, which I literally had never spent substantial time on.
I've sold a lot of like dog shampoo. That's about it as far as like pets.
We were bantering
Some
about
of that stuff
how
can go crazy.
Life is so good in America that dog shampoo exists.
I mean,
that is fair. That is fair.
Getting killed and trying to get approved for Nautica. Any advice? Pivot. Right? Control the things you can control and spend time on those certain things. Right. So if you spent 15, 20 different times ungating Nautica, of course, keep going. Right. It takes 2 minutes to reapply, but start sourcing other brands. Right. What we like to talk about is focus on the adjacencies of your current catalog. Your catalog has 5, 10, 15, 20 products of a list of brands and a list of products. Go through each of those brands, right? Dig deeper into those brands. Obviously, you've already authenticated those brands from an account health perspective, from an ungating perspective, et cetera, and so on and so forth, right? And then from the ASINs, from the specific products, go through and evaluate every seller on those listings. Chances are they have deeper products, other products within those brands, maybe other ASINs related to that product, other variations, that sort of thing, right? So the products inside your catalog are always going to lead you to the next product, and then you continue to extrapolate products that way.
Yes, it takes very little extra time just to keep ripping the application while you sell stuff you can.
Yeah, Lululemon, a fire brand, man. I found some profitable stuff in it this morning.
It's always been though.
Yeah.
I mean, any brand like that's that popular, there's always going to be at least a few products.
I mean, back in the OG days, we used to rip order to 3 or 5 or whatever it was back in the day, like with the soft order cancels.
Yeah, I mean, we would just sit there all night, and then half the orders would get canceled, and it was what it was.
Yeah, but you'd still spend like a lot of money, 25, 50 grand, like whatever.
Yeah, but there was also wild amounts of entertainment value, just hanging out at night on Zoom calls, ordering products. Have you guys tried ungating Lululemon? Yeah. Works the same. I mean, back in those days, it wasn't 100 euros. It was 10 across the board. So
yeah. Gotcha. Let's see. Ozai says, "Hey everyone, sorry I couldn't be on the call yesterday. Sunday is family day, so I may have to watch replays." Hey, no problem, man. Yeah, we here live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday for you guys as well. Answer all you guys' Amazon questions. Drop them in the chat, y'all.
I respect the family rule too.
That's the value of this business, though, is you can mold it to whatever you need from it, and you can mold it around your current situation, right? We have a lot of people crushing it alongside a corporate job they like, right? Corporate job doesn't always have to have the negative connotation that a lot of people present for it, right? So a lot of people trying to replace their corporate job, but there's a lot of people making 20, 30, 40K on the side, a couple hours a week, and they're happy with that, and that's awesome.
Yep. See, Rick asked like super early. He said, sending in some laundry detergent, some mint stuff into FBA. Do you still have time? I mean, yeah, like especially if it's like laundry detergent stuff like that. Like that's I doubt it's even going to see a small bump in terms of sales during Q4. It's almost even better to get stuff that's not going to see a bump out of the way. Clear the room, clear the kitchen table for stuff that's flying during the peak holiday season. But as far as I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering about that. As far as like super seasonal stuff, like you have very, very little time left, if any, in terms of like Christmas lights. But if it's like, a pair of shoes, toys, that kind of thing, you can still send it in for like.
Hey, we just get started. Yeah, we just get started on those types of products.
Honestly, though, for like the super seasonal niche stuff that Warner was just referring to, it doesn't even make sense to FBA, right? List FBM, you could leverage multiple different listings on Amazon. You can leverage Walmart. And just send them right to the customer, right? and you're gonna have a lot more success, and you're de-risked.
For sure. Sweet. A lot of good questions. See, what are all the fees to implement into SellerAmp to stay profitable after placement fees? Yeah, I mean, shipping and sales tax are going to be the big ones. You want to make sure you have baked in, about 60 cents a pound, and then whatever your sales tax is. You might also find it's just easier to add sales tax on a per order basis because sometimes maybe grocery sales tax free in your state, maybe vitamin is, maybe you send in some to a sales tax free prep center, but you always want to have shipping baked in.
Yep. Good question for Garrett here. So we're doing reverse sourcing by finding products through distributors, but most of them don't turn out to be profitable. How can we find authorized distributors who have profitable products to work with?
So you qualify based on the brand first, right? And I feel like the Google method for distributors used to be successful years ago, but that's not really the wave anymore, right? Used to be you can Google Philadelphia grocery distributor, have 50 distributors come out. I'll call a bunch, right? Open accounts. The problem is though, similar to manual sourcing with OA, it's hard to qualify a distributor up front, right? You can open up 10 different distributor accounts using Google, but the problem is you don't know the type of products inside that catalog. There's going to be products that are on Amazon that do really well. There's going to be products that are on Amazon that don't do well. And then there's going to be products that are not on Amazon, all baked into that catalog. And if you start with the distributor, it's hard to qualify and understand what sorts of products you're going to see inside that catalog. Then you're going to have to go through obviously the bandwidth of opening the account, sending those emails to get to a catalog that you don't want to even buy from, right? So we start with the brand, right? We can use Keeper Product Finder or Smart Scout to qualify the brand, understanding what sorts of products they encompass, right? So what sorts of products they have, and then go to the brand, open the account. And then if you don't open the account, ask them for referrals to other places to buy. And that's how you're going to open distribution accounts, sort of like the backdoor method, right? You're prioritizing the brand. And then if you don't open that brand account, you can still on the backside of that get some distribution accounts as a secondary option.
Good question from Justy again. What's the best way to get prepared for Black Friday and Christmas as an FBM seller? I got small profits from a few things I sell, but I'm struggling with scaling and taking advantage of the holidays. Yeah, so the big thing is just going to be finding faster selling products profitably. So like a huge part of Q4 growth is finding the 700 sales per month, 900 sales per month, 2,000 sales per month ASINs profitably, and understanding that as long as you're doing online arbitrage storefront stocking, the products you're seeing are online arbitrage. If you're starting out in the products you see in Warner's videos, and that if they're selling it, they're getting it from somewhere profitably. And watch our FBM tutorials too. That would be very helpful as well. Okay, so Jennifer says, where do you go to adjust your shipping fees for FBM? Okay, here we go. So very, very important right here. So let's go here. Boom, boom. All right, so we in here, right? And so a lot of beginners think that to get the FBM numbers, you just subtract the profit right here. Not at all what you do. What you actually do is you scroll down here and you toggle this from FBA to FBM and then plug in the FBM cost, which is the shipping cost, right? And here's a good guide you can grab for that right here. Boom, right there. So you can plug that guy in. Boom. So this one, it would probably be like, let's see, what does this guy weigh here? 2 ounces, so it's super light. It's like $4 here. Boom, and we can see way better FBA compared to FBM. It's a major, major key right there.
For sure. What's up, Matt? Yeah, appreciate you. How's everything going for you, Matt? I know you've been in the game, been crushing for a little while now.
A couple years, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Facing issues on gating this queue. I mean, it's just same as usual. Just got to keep submitting. Okay, and yeah, we both have good videos on gating. I know it's a big roadblock for a lot of new sellers, and it feels bad to get denied and all that kind of stuff when you read something and they say no. Like you just got to get used to. As a business owner, you push through things that tell you not to do it. That's what it is. If you're gonna listen every time somebody tells you not to do something as a business owner, you're not gonna go very far.
Yep. Okay. Okay. So I got my first person saying they did not get a product, but it shows delivered. They requested a replacement. How would y'all deal with this? Tell them to it shows it was delivered. Yeah, tell them to file a claim through Amazon. You're protected and they're protected as long as you shipped on time. Great question.
Yep. What up, Sadiq? Appreciate you, man. What up, Hunter?
Bruh, Deke better hope he doesn't end up guarding me today. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night for Deke. I think we're going to be on the same team, though. But it could be a very, very long night. He gets on that island, Warner. He gets on that island, man. It's going to be a long night. Huh?
Did he move down there, or is he just?
No, he just here. Yeah, we're just gonna link up and hoop.
Oh yeah. Sweet. Yeah, let us know what other questions you guys got. Really good kind of general practice in terms of sourcing today and just in general. Start digging into storefronts of a lot of the auto and gay brands we talk about, but then go brand by brand and just Google that brand. Right, this is going to be super useful right now with Veterans Day sales. It's even better when Black Friday sales come around. You're going to start seeing, all right, this brand is only sold on the brand's website. Let's take like Jellycat, for example, right? It's only sold by the brand, maybe some like independent retailers. Figure out what sales do they run. All right, they have a 20% sale. Let me write that down. Then next time you see a 30%, all right, that's really good. Black Friday, a lot of these places are going to run their best sales. But yeah, a lot of us are, looking, just scrolling randomly through storefronts or opening up homepages, go brand by brand on other storefronts, start really quickly figuring out, all right, which of these brands are actually good, which of them are cheap today, and dive in from there. There's a lot of good sourcing to be done today.
Jump back and see with some FBM. Should I file a safety claim? Nah, no need. Just tell the buyer to file an A to Z claim because you're fully protected as long as you shipped on time. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely refunded
that sort of stuff. They have thousands of employees that are employed to handle those requests. Put it up on them.
I definitely refunded way too many people before I realized that we were covered on that.
Yeah. So Isaiah says, what app do you use for coupons? Yeah, Capital One Shopping, Coupon Birds, and Cooper. I'll drop the typed out names in the chat.
Yeah.
Cooper, right.
Yeah, just check the Chrome extension. Usually that'll do it for you. Or just Google like X website coupon, show you like a bunch of different websites.
Yeah, because so many websites, especially smaller retailers, have sign-up coupons that print, and that's the method for that website. You know what I mean? Just you got to put them into practice.
He's more like the TJ McConnell flow. Don't give him that.
More like a Carlos Boozer type.
Carlos Boozer is a compliment when you see how his son plays.
He's a baller, yeah. Who was he?
Yeah.
I just heard his name somewhere. He's in college, right?
Yeah, Duke.
Yeah, Duke, yeah. And then with Juwan Howard's son, right? Or
really
another OG.
I don't know about that. Can you please repeat the refund answer? Yeah. So if you guys are all running this FBM season, right? So if you're running into examples or cases where folks buy ASINs from you and they receive it, or at least the tracking shows delivered, but they didn't say they received it, they might be trying to scam you. The nice thing is you're protected, right? And you just tell them to file an A to Z claim with Amazon. And even if you lose, you're protected and you'll get the money back and you can file it. You can basically even if they take the buyer side, which they won't, they should take both your guys' side, which is typically what happens. You can file a claim with Amazon, or you can get it back basically, but tell the buyer to file an A to Z claim basically.
Yeah. I put a quick template for that in chat if you guys want a template for that. But yeah, you'll get a bunch of whether they're trying to scam you or not, you're going to get a bunch of that where it's like, I didn't get my item. A lot of times they're trying to scam you. I got a new one today, like a new buyer message that was definitely a scam. They're like, refund me immediately, and then they made up a bunch of policies about Amazon health department or something like that. It's like some copy paste thing that somebody saw on Reddit or something. It's like, send this to the seller. It was like on a grocery product. It's like, if you don't refund immediately, I'm reporting you to Amazon for some kind of health practice or whatever. I was like, I don't think you got the authority to do that through buyer messages, my friend.
Right there. Cool.
Limit the power, son.
So good question from Kaneen here. It says, I see FBM sellers price way above Amazon. Do they get orders at the higher pricing? Nah. So they're just drop shippers that have 1 million listings up and it doesn't even matter to them. They're not super pressed on any one ASIN.
Yeah. They're just listing everything under the sun, seeing if it sells and ship it if it does. But they're also breaking the rules. So don't get any funny ideas about that being a good idea. It's why you never see someone who's been drop shipping on Amazon for 5 years, but you have seen a lot of people who resell for 5 years.
Yeah, high key. Will you be good for tomorrow, G-Body?
Yeah. I mean,
nice, cool. Yeah, Garrett was sick for a little bit, so he was missing the coaching call.
The weirdest thing is I wasn't sick. I just couldn't talk. My voice was gone.
Shit. Something like that, right?
Yeah. So Bryce asked a good question about wholesale. He's saying when to start adding wholesale into the business. Yeah, I mean, I still think it's a lot easier to hit 100K a month with arbitrage, but it's a lot easier to hit 250,000 months, 500,000 months with wholesale, right? So the better thing to do is like on those small to mid-sized brands that you start by, there's no harm in emailing the brand, right? It's like, hey, I just found this random company I've never heard of before. Maybe they'll sell directly to me. No, all right, they'll give me their distribution information. Now those distributors might very likely have higher prices than what you got with the buy one get one plus the coupon plus all that kind of stuff, but maybe there's some consistency, a little bit lower margin, but some consistency. So just start to use like what you're already selling as leads for potential stuff to wholesale.
Like a little threshold of calling 5 brands every week, right? Get in the habit of picking up the phone, making that dial, talking to sales reps, and just going through the motion and an iterative process of just improving your tonality, your conversational skills around Amazon, right? The first call is going to be super scary, but the 100th won't be as bad. You just have to make those 50 calls to get better, right? And a lot of people never even get into wholesale because they're afraid of picking up the phone.
For sure. Let's see. Somebody said they're a new FBA seller in Ireland. Any tips for EU sellers? Not something we're super familiar with, but if you just watch the videos, the methods are going to be very, very similar. I know European sellers have to deal with a little bit more like tax BS and that kind of stuff, like, you know, VAT, if you have to deal with that, like it's a little bit more extra hoops in Europe. But besides that, the tactics are the exact same. You'll just source from different websites.
And we also see a lot of European sellers crush it in the American marketplace using a US-based prep center, right? So it's kind of obviously based on your situation and your goals.
Yeah. One thing that's cool, we don't really have access to selling on as many different marketplaces as people in the EU do. Like I've talked to a couple really cool like European sellers that it's obviously way easier for them to ship stuff to Germany if you're in the UK, if you're in France, that kind of thing, than it is to start shipping stuff to Mexican or Canadian FCs over here. So there's a lot of like cool like cross-country arbitrage when all the countries are a lot closer like that.
Cool. Seller and Pankeepa for sourcing. Yeah, Seller and Pankeepa for all you need right there, Dom. Brother Dom, what Whipski brother got? Oh, a charger. The Wi-Fi mobile. Nice.
Let's see. As far as I think he's asking like if a website is good for sourcing. I see like a tactical gear.
Oh yeah, I mean I found
like
powerful stuff on there before.
Cool.
I think there's a 10% code.
Yeah, the way you can validate and just like make sure. I assume you're just like worried about getting scammed or whatever. Just look it up on Trustpilot or see if they take a PayPal. Which low-key, they have like a 1.5 on Trustpilot, which is a little bit concerning.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, if that happens, talk to Amazon SAR Sport. That's happened to me before. Typically, it doesn't happen when that's the case. But if it does, talk to Amazon SAR Sport and you'll be able to get it back. Same goes for like anytime you lose an A to Z claim, you can always talk to them and then see if you can get it back. And in any case, you'll be able to. Yep. So let's see. How many days till Black Friday here?
Yeah. As far as good Black Friday resource is a website I feel like we mention every year, but blackfriday.com is super helpful if you guys are like want a good summary of like what everybody's Black Friday sales are, that kind of thing. And then Miles drop in the Wayback Machine. If you want to go see what the sales were last year as well, that's even useful just like year round as well. You just pop into the Wayback Machine, check every month or so. You can pretty easily see like the best sales they run because it'll show up on the banner on the homepage.
Yeah, 100%. I'm about to share that in our groups too.
Yeah, that's like because a lot of sales will be around, and a lot of sales will be full of stuff that tanks, just because they're like extremely popular common sales. So if you're worried about that, go look at the last like past couple months and see like, all right, this is actually the best sale they've run in months, or maybe not, and it's just going to be a bunch of people stocking up. And you can probably spend more money, spend more time on the ones that are actually way better than normal.
The Wayback Machine is now archive.com, archive.org. That's hard. Cool. I wonder if they acquired
Does it redirect?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's hard. Interesting.
Test that out. That's cool. That's definitely a better name.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, that's a sick name. Yeah. That's like a potentially a $2 million name. Yeah.
For your bank account. Hey, I mean, if you have no liquid cash left on Friday beyond enough to cover the next credit card bill, that is probably a good method.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's another good kind of
and then 3 weeks later get it all back plus 30 to 50%.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's another good like PSA of sorts. If you're going crazy on spending and you like need to have money saved up for Black Friday, we're like just outside 2 weeks away. So keep that in mind with y'all's credit card statements and stuff. See like when your next payments due, how much that next payment is. And yeah, try to figure out how to stretch it. It's a little late for it now, but for next big sales season, also think about having your credit card company move your date forward in that period so it can be paid off more favorably for around these sales and that kind of stuff later.
Back in the day, Miles used to have all of his due dates memorized.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, I could still tell you all of them. Yeah, literally still tell you all of them.
Let's see. Safe's got a good question about wholesale there for you, Garrett.
How can we build long-term relationships with distributors for consistent supply? I mean, by spending consistently, having consistent communication, and always and just looking to be a loyal, trusted partner, right? I mean, Amazon sellers over the years have earned sort of a negative reputation for a lot of the reasons that we kind of just talked about, right? Just inconsistent orders, asking for big discounts, but not actually spending any money, right? Sending in big RFQs, right? Just not being a consistent, reliable partner, right? And so if you do the opposite of all those sorts of things, you'll start to get unlocked to all of their A+ products, the higher discount tiers, right? The more money you put in their pocket, the more money they will want to put in your pocket, right? It's a reciprocal relationship, and you have to treat it as such.
I have keep getting random charge on credit card / debit card, virtual credit cards for all your OA purchases, and use the same one and check out through PayPal in pretty much every case. Yeah,
for sure.
Good question from Lewis here.
When finding profitable products using KPF and basing them off of the reviews, how do you know that they are still a good way to source when the buy box? So I don't necessarily know that reviews are a super viable way to filter down products.
Yeah, right? I wouldn't say so. I mean, they're not, but there's way better ways. Yeah.
Especially from like a wholesale method, right? Some of the filters we use are obviously category, right? Go category to category. You want to look for products that are, 3 or 4 or more sellers consistently over time. We usually use a filter that's like, the consumer rating filter, the star. You use 3 minimum stars, 3 or more star rated, just to authenticate that the brand is highly favorable reviews and the customers are returning, that sort of thing. And then on the product level, right, you want to obviously validate that the brand isn't on there. You want to validate that it has some sort of reasonable buy box rotation. And from there, right, just give the brand a call and kind of see if you can open that account, right? When you're sourcing and qualifying brands, you want to keep your qualification like fairly macro, right? It doesn't necessarily matter if one particular product has gone down $5 in price, or if there's one seller's owning a big portion of the buy box, because a lot of things are still to be determined, right? The pricing, right? What their quantities are, what sorts of products are available, right? You're qualifying a brand for the entire brand's sake, not necessarily a particular product, right? And so when you're qualifying initially using Keep a Product Finder, you want to keep it like fairly macro. The key is just to kind of authenticate that Amazon's not on there, the brand's not on there, it's not private label, and that the product is fairly stable over time.
Yep. Cool. All right. Thanks all y'all for tuning in for another Monday, family. If you see my highlights on SportsCenter tomorrow morning, let me know. About to go get a bucket. And we'll be back tomorrow for Seller Hour at 4 p.m. and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern for Box 'em Office Hours. Y'all have a great one.
Absolutely. Good vibes. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you guys.
See you later. The G-Body salute. G-Body salute right there.